Hey ladies, just real quick, it is late and I finally got the girls to bed. So I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what I put earlier as far as leaders. Um, in my opinion, you can have leaders that you're already connected to or mentors that you're already connected to. Um, a big sister, a younger relative, whatever, or people in the Bible that, as I was saying, one of the periscopes that I was watching, she basically was stating that to choose three leaders to study their life in detail, overcome obstacles, and not perfection, but to um, understand their principles and let it be uh, your leaders, the three people that you study should have the outcome of life that you want. And then it's basically like how you would look at it as a mentor. Like, okay, I consider this person as successful. Um, I need to know what they did to get to where they are, and not to necessarily be where they are. You might want to grow past them, but you kind of need that seed sowed into you, the resources, the wisdom, the do's, the don'ts, the ins, the out, all that kind of stuff. So for me, I have a mentor, Erica. We met in high school. She was my college bound specialist, and um, I went through a very rough state in life, and for some reason, um, it was something was telling me to go to her and to reach out to her. And even when I was in school, like she was always like praying and um, just so versatile. And I was just like, wow, like that's what I want to be for other people. So she doesn't ever really know this, and if you, she'll probably see this, and it's like, you were an influence, like you are a part of the influence as to why how I am a part of you is a part of me, and I want to be that person, what she is for me to someone else, and not even just one person, but to many people. But of course, I can't split myself in so many, but I want to be able to be that person for other people so that I can be a part of someone else, and that part of me can still branch off to other people because of the people that was closely connected to me, if that makes sense. um so like I was saying earlier, that I would kind of elaborate more far as like leaders, and I'm just going to name a few leaders from the Bible that the pastor's wife had mentioned. And she said, Moses, he multiplied himself to get help. Noah did right when the world was doing wrong. Abraham embraced the unknown. Joseph uh, led despite his circumstances to sustain his vision. Joshua led by example, not by command. David, he wasn't afraid of giants, so facing um, life challenges, life blows that come after you. Isaiah rose to the occasion, so basically taking the initiative, uh, be the first. So when she said that about Isaiah, I'm not even a Walking Dead like fan, but I instantly thought about the character. I think it's like name is like Rick, Sean, or John. I don't know, but he had a moment where he was just like, I had enough. Like he didn't know if he was gonna make it back. He didn't ask anybody, are they gonna follow with him. He didn't ask anybody that they had their back. All he know is his son just got shot, and that the woman that he was, falling for, he had some interest in or whatever, like she got killed right before her eyes as he watched her son get killed right before her eyes, and he know that that like that was her, like that was her baby. So he, and then the other, and then I think her other son tried to kill his son or something like that, and just so much that they had to go through. And I think the little girl was his daughter too. And bear with me, all my Walking Dead fans, but he got his son to safety so that they can help, and then grabbed his weapon and just went out there and just started slaying, just slaying left and right, left and right, left and right. And then his people or his friends or whatever was just like, we gotta help him, we gotta be there for him. And when he took the initiative, he took the lead, and his people followed behind him, and then others saw him, and that made them build the carriage. And although he couldn't slay all of them at once, the people that followed, that it just took that one person to take the courage and just start going out there and just to take the initiative, to take the stand. They made all the difference. The one guy I had, like, he when he had the fire, I mean, he had put the gasoline down and then the fire, and the zombies ended up like pretty much killing themselves. My thought was, wow, like, it doesn't always take you, it doesn't take for you to work harder, but to work smarter. And that was a great deal to kind of, this is the problem. Now everybody kind of made their own solutions, but it was for this, for 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 the cause of getting rid of these things that has been kind of taking over their lives and taking their loved ones from them. And it was just like, enough is enough. And sometimes it just take for one person, one strong person to take this stand that just been through so much and feel like they don't have nothing to lose, and they just go. And then those other people see that and they just like, wow, like, I can do this. So Rick kind of, I hope his name is Rick, he kind of reminded me of Isaiah. So when she mentioned taking the initiative, it really like was like, wow. John wasn't afraid to call people out. So like I was saying earlier, when she mentioned about the being in church and like someone kind of telling you, like, you need to fix yourself up because you're not looking like a leader. And um she, checked herself out, and in her mind she thought she was just doing just fine, no matter how many people try to, call out and say something. But a lot of people don't like to be called out, but sometimes I feel like that's necessary, that's called for. And Jesus, he was a servant. Peter recovered from failure. So um, she said that for Peter, don't become disclosed with your failure. So I am not one that knows the Bible in and out, that can find a page without looking at the table of contents. That's not me. But I'm a work in progress. But thinking of Peter recovering from failure, I think of um, the times where I would apply to jobs over and over again, and having that rejection. And then when I did get a job, I ended up getting fired because of something. When I think back on it, it was I felt like it was smart in the moment because I had to leave. I had to get out of it. I was already time for me to go, but I had to leave. I had to go get my oldest from where she was. And um I kind of felt like I was wrongfully let go, but at the same time I had peace with it. And it was just like, wow, like, I had a job. I didn't have to be on depend on the government to do anything for me. And now here I am 10 steps back, doing, gotta start all over again. Like, that frustrated me. And then when I um, started to save, it was like, oh, dang, now I gotta start kicking out more money for daycare. Um, they're just constant failures of just life. But now it's to the point where it's always like, wow, like the stuff that I used to be worried about financially, like it's not even an issue. It's not even a problem for me anymore. And it's just like sometimes God would allow you to fail to um, bring you higher to another level. And so that you can also be a testimony to other people, or, because some people go through situations they feel like, man, ain't nobody ever been in my shoes, or take a walk in my shoes, and you can be one of those people that's just like, man, I've been there. Like, or if they telling you, talk, speaking on their frustration, or what they've been going through, or what they are going through, you can like definitely relate. And when some people, for me, I feel like when I'm having a conversation and we can relate, like when it comes to like parenting and stuff like that, like I talk to other mothers. And not to say that women that don't have children don't wouldn't understand or can't relate, because some women, they might not physically given birth to a child before, but they've been the mother for their younger siblings or whatever. So I don't exempt them, but um, just being able to have someone to connect or be able to relate to your failures and be able to speak on your testimony like that, those failures can definitely be what builds you up, and to be able to help other people and recovering from it, and not just staying there like, oh, I failed at that task. Like I went to college straight out of high school and only did one semester, and here I am. What was that, 2008? And here I am, 2016, working on a degree. Like, failure, once you set it in your mind, failure isn't an option. The the better off you'll be. And Paul was a leader that was passionate about what he believed in. So um, she mentioned that leaders uh, care and care deeply. So for me, I care deeply about women maintaining their strength, taking care of themselves, and feeling great as an individual, embracing their womanhood, and um, standing firm on what they believe in. So whatever it is that you believe is within yourself, I feel like you should embrace that. Like, don't let your friends tell you, "Oh, girl, you're crazy for even thinking that way," or "That would never happen," or "You too old for that," or um, "Don't waste your time." Like, it's your life, it's your time, it's your money, your resources, your whatever. Like, they they don't they're in your circle because you want them there. Don't ever feel like, I need this person. I need this person. Like, you need you to be able to do whatever it is that makes you happy. Not for the certificate, not for anybody to look at you and say, "Oh, you're doing a good job," or "Oh, um I don't think you should take that route." Like, it's not their lives. It's not their life. And most of the people that's trying to direct you to do this and that, like, they're not really doing anything for themselves, because they too busy dipping and dabbing in everybody else's lives. And that's like, you need to take a stand and do whatever it is that you feel deeply or feel passionate about. Once you find that, I feel like that you should take charge and and go full force with it. Like it took me a while to get to this place to be able to make videos, to be able to talk, and I feel like yeah, I still need work, and maybe I probably should have practiced, but you don't always have time. You don't always have that kind of time. Sometimes in some situations where you have to learn as you go, and you will definitely grow as time go by, and that's what I believe. Like the more that I post things, or the more that I pray on things, or the more that I have ideas and visions and I share it with y'all, and eventually um being able to have a location where we can all meet up and start this workshop and actually do the things that physically that I've been like planning on. Like I'm like so excited about it, and I'm just like I don't know where exactly this is gonna go, but I know it's gonna go somewhere. um I'm just thankful that I took the courage to start this page. I'm thankful that I have the courage to be vulnerable at times, to not feel like I have to hide behind a wall and feel like I can't speak to you, or feel like I can't share with you my ideas, or um, try to keep the messages that I get, and try to keep it to myself, because I believe that no less than 3 people will receive this message and be able to share it with someone else. Um, so like earlier, I was saying that 3 things for leadership: application, study the leader in and out, and read books on leadership. And if you don't have a book right now, to pick 3 of the leaders that I mentioned that are from the Bible, or you can actually take a look for yourself. I think for me, because I'm very passionate about what it is that I'm doing, and that I think about this and you all every day, and even at tonight, like my girls are sleeping the cows away, or sheep away, however you say it. But anyway, I couldn't sleep because I had this on my heart. So for me, I believe my mentors would be Paul, um, Joseph, and Jesus, or Abraham, Isaiah, and Paul. So homework for me tonight, I'm going to start reading about Isaiah, um, and then move on to Paul, reading about Paul, getting to know him, how he was living, and to read about David as well. I'm sorry, I took a long pause. I was trying to read it out. Be intentional. And it's so crazy because I love Travis Green song. He's intentional. Like, you know how people be like, turn up for Jesus or turn up for God? Like, that's one of those songs where I would have a youth group, and they got their, t-shirts on, and they feeling good, and they pumped up, and if it did, I really, I also think about that too. Like, is I really like that song. Um, but definitely every day be intentional. Once you wake up, like what is if you haven't found out what your purpose is, like that should be your goal each day. Like be intentional for what it is that you do, the people that you connect to, um, your job, like you still have your job, you still have your job for a reason. It's not to pay bills because there's people out here that have bills to continue that's constantly coming, and the unemployment is running out, and they don't even know what they're going to do. Um, so your job isn't just to be able to pay your bills. That's just what I believe. Like there's a reason um, for you being there. You do serve a purpose there, not to just be on the payroll. Be intentional with your family. If there's some people that you need to forgive or reconnect with, I suggest that you do it. And I'm not just speaking to you all, I'm speaking for myself as well. And take personal development very seriously. So don't just kind of write out um, daily affirmations or ask God to expand your borders or go to church and not apply the word to what it to your situations or your situation. Um, be intentional with all that you do, and and be serious about your development, because you never know when your time is going to come, or when you're going to be put in position to really show off what it is that where it is that you came from. And it won't be overnight. And as I was showing you with the pen, that piece by piece, brick by brick, hand by hand, prayer by prayer, something's going to break, something's going to work out, and you're going to be able to look back 3 to 6 months, a year back, and just be like, wow, I made it. I made it through that. Like, I cannot believe I made it through that. Or wow, like I don't even think like that. Or I don't even read that kind of stuff no more. Wow, like we used to be so close. Like, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with us being disconnected, because look at the new friendships that, or the bonds that I've built, or look at the blessings that I finally gotten from for finally becoming obedient, or finally being able to forgive and lift, um, relieve myself from what it is that God been pressing me to do. Um, and Sunday, the Pastor Jamal was saying, speaking on the 3 R's. So, relief, reform, and recover. And what I basically picked up for that is, when you are going through life and you finally start seeing the light, so to speak, that it's finally a relief, because you're like, all right, like I'm finally starting to feel myself get back to me. I'm finally feeling like I can breathe. I'm starting to feel like I can actually make it. Like, thank you, God, for the strength. And then you reform into this new being, because now you have this new armor on from the old heart, or broken heart, or broken situation, or whatever, um, or having your life at a plateau situation, and you just felt like there was no come up, and now you had this come up. So now you have the relief, and now you reform to a new being, and you standing up strong, and which is the third, recover. And so working in the recovery room with the children, and it's like, the moms or the parents, the child go in, get surgery, come out the OR, come into the PACU, And the doctors and everybody's like a relief, like, okay, nothing went wrong. The child didn't cold, or we didn't lose them. Like, they hit it home, they hit it closer to home, the surgery went well, everything is fine. So while they're in the PACU recovering, they uh, are kind of trying to get back to themselves. The anesthesia is wearing off, and they're just trying to get the child settled and ready for the parents. So when the parents come back, it's like, okay, cool, like, I gotta believe my child is okay, and they embrace their child. And then once every 2 hours has passed or so, and the doctor is like, okay, good, you're good to go, you can recover, you go home and get yourself together, whatever. And that healing process goes. I feel like the healing process is between the relief and reform. For some people, they feel like it can be between the reform and recovery. Um, I'm so sorry. Um, there was a Japanese proverb saying, the best room in the house, or the best room in the home, is um, self and self improvement, or for improvement. So during your season of relieve, relieving, reforming, and recovery, that's your season of improvement. And I also believe that that is also a part of leadership. So if you've never really looked at yourself as a leader, I think that today should be one of those days where you could kind of try to figure out a place where you can show your leadership. If you are already in position, whether you're a manager, supervisor, CEO, have your own business, um, there's always room there's always room for improvement. So I would say, um, which room in your life do you feel like you can improve as a leader? So I know it's like a lot of notes to take, and some people aren't that far into or really good at note taking or like to note take, but I feel like um, when you write things down, like, it helps out a lot. And it did for me, and I know that different things work for different people, but um, I want to be a part of your growth. So if you haven't gotten a journal for yourself yet, I suggest that you do. Take advantage of it and work at it every day. Work at your goal, work at your dream, work at your vision. Your job should not be um, the the death of your dream, so to speak. So your so much of your time should not be put into what someone else built. Like, what are you going to build? What's important to you other than money? What's important to you other than um, next to your hobbies? Like, what is it that you really want to do? What is it that you've been sleeping on? What is it that you've been putting in the back of your mind? Like, tap into that. Make time for that. There's some way, somehow, whether it's doing half of your break, all of your break, um, at night, like now, like, this is a part of me working on my vision, because you all are a part of it. And I know that it's starting out small, but I feel like everybody got to start from somewhere. And listening to Oprah on the podcast, Eric Thomas, and just different people. Winter Peterson. I'm waiting on her book now. Like I'm just like, yeah, like I got this. So, like I said, it's late. I'm gonna read my book because I'm like 2 days behind. But I wish you all well. Good night. I pray that there will be peace in your home tonight and throughout the day, and that tomorrow um, be a reset, a fresh start for you, and that you start taking advantage of your resources that are in reach to help you build whatever it is that lately you have been feeling like you want to do but didn't have the time to do, or you wanted to do or didn't have the finance to do, or whatever's been holding you back. I pray against and I bind anything that tries to continue to get in the way of that, and I pray that the excuses end, because as long as you have breath in your body, you have time and you have a chance. Um, so, like I said, good night, and I hope that tonight be of peace and that tomorrow be a fresh start and that you start writing out your ideas and start working at them. All right, guys, see you tomorrow.